What's up, beautiful people? Struggling, awful, terrible. Take your pick on the name for this series against the Yankees. We unfortunately lose 2 out of the 3 to the Yankees. We don't get swept. We are able to salvage the last game and some good piece of hitting, some timely hitting from our boys. Starting pitchers were really struggling against the Yankees this series. There were some bright spots, however, and Jeremiah Estrada looking absolutely insane, looking like he needs to be a part of some big parts and pieces of the bullpen when there's the game's on the line. Some good execution in small ball on Game 3 against the Yankees. Musgrove comes back with a decent, good enough, and efficient outing against the Yankees, especially how they've been hitting lately. It was a good effort to see. Nino kind of been swagless. He talks about it a little bit after Game 2's loss. We'll look into that in a little bit, and then we'll look forward to the Marlins to finish off our homestand for 3. Let's do this. I know I've said it for 20 plus years, but I got a feeling this is the year. God, Tatis is such a sexy guy. Keep the faith, baby.
1 year soon, the baseball gods will smile on the San Diego Padres, and we will have a parade.
Stay vibrant, Friar Faithful.
And now your handsome host, Beto Diaz on Friar Field Talk.
So jumping right back into it, this video is going to be pretty short. There's not really much material to go off for our Padres this week. The Yankees kind of kicked their fucking ass. It was not much of a contest most games. Obviously, Game 3 was the exception. Game 1 was an absolute dud. Yu Darvish, who he had 25 consecutive scoreless innings. From the very get-go, Anthony Volpe leads off with a triple down the line. Kind of rare to see triples in Petco, but I mean, Volpe's got speed, and he was able to get it right down the corner on the left side. From the get-go, we were down 1-0, and my God, anything that was thrown in the zone that had break to it, the Yankee hitters were absolutely tearing Yu Darvish apart. Soto, Judge, Glaber, everyone was taking Darvish deep. Just one of those days for Darvish where his spin rate was very off, and it was known from the get-go. Obviously, coming into this series against the Yankees, you knew we were going to struggle a little bit just because of our MO and record at home so far this year. Padres dropped to 11-18 at Petco Park this year. Kind of crazy when you think about it. 7 games under 5 in your own home. Obviously, the Yankees are a worthy opponent right now. They're playing really good baseball, if not some of the best baseball in the league. But just really non-competitive baseball from our boys the first 2 games. Couldn't get any hits together, any strings together whatsoever against Rodon in the first game, and even in Game 2. Things to be concerned about. I mean, when we're looking about this team now, I'm going to be brutally honest with y'all. It just seems like we're an average team. I think that we, for some reason, play above average on the road. I don't know if it's a chip on their shoulder. I don't know if they're fucking scared. I don't know what is going on, but they play like a different team on the road than they do at home. And it's really fucking frustrating, infuriating, because, you know, you spend hundreds of dollars now to go to Petco Park and see your boys play, because cheer them on, because that's what we do. And they just look abysmal. They look non-existent. They look just dead. They look defeated. El Nino hits a home run in Game 2 against the Yankees, and he doesn't do his usual step around third. He just looks dead inside, rounding the bases. They have an interview with him later in the game, and he just says he feels swagless right now. He feels like he can't get anything together. He feels like he's hitting the ball hard, but it's not transponding or coming into results. Obviously, his strikeout rate has increased mightily this year. Another big part of his issue. He's chasing too many balls on the outside of the plate. But just a really crappy series against the Yankees. You can look at it 2 ways. I'm looking at it a little bit more on the cautious side, just because we're in the end of May now and we continue to struggle at home. Or you could look at it on the other side, like, look, the Yankees are good. They have good pitching right now. Their starting pitchers have been insane the last 2 weeks. You can look at it on the side as, hey, they're one of the best teams in baseball. Soto's probably the running candidate for the MVP in the American League right now. Judge has started to get hot in the last week. He was batting over 400. Seemed like anything that was part of the zone, he was fucking ripping it. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of the games. Like I said, it's going to be pretty short. Game 1 was an absolute fucking dud. I was watching this game at a bar, at a brewery. I went with my mom. She was having a little retirement party, kind of, or a going away party for her work. And I'm glad I was not like too invested in the game because my God, it just an absolute shit show from the start. Obviously, like I had said, Volpe starts it off, gets them in with 1 run in the first, and the third inning from fucking hell. It just seemed like Darvish just couldn't get anything strung together. Home runs by Soto, home runs by Judge, home runs by Stanton, by Torres. It's the fourth inning, it's 7-0, and you're like, this shit's fucking over with. I'm sure many of you probably turned the game off. I feel sorry for a lot of you that ended up spending your hard-earned money to go take your family out or yourself or whatever it may be and seeing this abysmal fucking effort from our boys on Friday. Just a miserable day from the start. I'm not going to really show many highlights of Darvish serving up fucking bombs to these assholes. But little stat line from Darvish, 5 2/3. He did have a significantly good pitch count going into the sixth. Somehow, I mean, almost all his runs were home runs, so it made some sense. He did allow 9 hits, 5 2/3, 9 hits, 7 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and the big one right here, 4 home runs allowed. His ERA still drops to 3.04. Obviously, he had that really good stretch of 3 consecutive starts in a row, but a major dud from him. I guess you could say a decent bright spot is the bullpen. Collet comes in, can damage control and get pitches of inning in the third, and Britos pitches 2, and they only allow 1 hit combined with the 1 run. Obviously, that 1 run coming in the 9th off a wild pitch. Not really much to go on. Bunch of donuts across the board. 0-0-0-0. Arraez breaks his consecutive hit streak in this game. Goes 0-4. Tatis 0-2. Just nothing. Machado with a 1-2. He had a double, and Cronenworth 1-2 as well. Merrill kind of trying to stay afloat with his average still at 283 at this game. But we're going to get the fuck out of here on this game. And honestly, it doesn't get much better in game 2. Padres lose this game 4-1. Dylan Cease, who has shown some really good shit in the last couple of starts, loses this game. Also home runs. Aaron Judge from the beginning hits a fucking ball all the way to goddamn El Canto. Makes it a 2-0 game in the first. And then the Yankees end up adding on, making it 4-0 at one point. El Nino does hit the home run. I'll show it here because it's the only highlight we have in the first 2 games. Go ahead and mute the sound. Gets a pitch in the middle of the zone with no break whatsoever from Luke Weaver. Makes him pay, sends it to deep center. Judge almost has a chance at it because he's fucking 9'9" monster ass motherfucker. But Tatis gets a hold of one. You can see he from the very start he hits it and he's like, oh well, finally got one. It's like, yay. Look, he's like probably like a foot away from that ball. Skips the turnaround third. Doesn't look very happy at all. And can you blame him? He's been very underwhelming so far. He had a really good start to the season, but he's just been very underwhelming. Obviously, he's the big hit here. Gets the 1 run for our Padres to put his average at 244. Just by any of the standards for Tatis and for our standards on Tatis, just very awful numbers so far. I love me some Nino, and I know it's really crappy to see him playing the way he's been playing. But hopefully it's a sign of things to come. Hopefully it's a sign that maybe he can break out of his little slump he's had going on here. I will show again Cease. He goes 6 2/3. Also has a decent amount of good pitch count on him, but allows 8 hits, 4 earned runs. Does strike out 9, pretty good number, and allows the 1 home run to start off from Judge. Holmes gets the save for the Yankees. And at this point, you're looking to game 3, and you're like, damn, I wish hopefully we can just salvage 1, try and get back to 500. And thankfully, we do. Try and change the tone here a little bit. Padres win this game 5-2. Estrada was the talk of the town. This is the major bright spot that I want to talk about in the video. Sets a Padres record by striking out 10 consecutive batters. Obviously, he struck out 5 in the last game before this, and then he strikes out 5 here against the Yankees. He strikes out Judge on 3 pitches, who it looked like Judge could just tearing the cover off the ball. Just insane stuff from him. We'll look at the scoring a little bit. It was a deadlock 0-0. Musgrove was pitching really good. Gets to the 6th inning, and unfortunately, of course, former Padres burning us. Juan Soto doubles to make it a 1-0 game. And at this point, you're like, fucking A, is that going to be enough for the Yankees to beat us, to sweep us, a 1-0 fucking game? But thankfully, the Yankees pitchers start walking some people. They start getting people on board. Merrill gets us on the board first with a really good force out here. Sorry, I know that's probably really loud. Bases loaded with nobody out. They bring in Victor Gonzalez. He really rips it to first. Rizzo goes to second, but Merrill's just too fast with the pitcher covering. He's fucking 900 pounds, so it's going to take him 5 years to get to first. Luckily, Merrill's got that speed. Ties the game 1-1 here, and you see runners on first and third with one out. You think, man, maybe we got a shot here to bring in the next guy. And really, really good piece of hitting here from Kim. He decides to go for the safety squeeze with runners on first and third, one of the most exciting plays in baseball. Gets the bunt down. Rizzo mishandles it. Machado scores. Everyone's happy in the background. Finally, we have our first lead of the series in the 6th inning of the 3rd game. Machado scores. Pretty good slide there. Really good bunt from Kim. I looked at it again a few times to see, man, if Rizzo handles this well, does he get Machado at home? And it probably would have been really bang. Machado, obviously not the fastest guy on our team, but a really good bunt and a really good idea from Kim, who struggled at the plate. Gives us a 2-1 lead. Arraez, again, finally comes up with a really big hit as well. 2 outs, 3-2 count. Arraez comes back, doesn't try to do too much, takes it up the middle. God, it's like sex seeing this guy go up the middle and just taking the pitch where it goes. Doesn't matter if it's outside, inside. Hits Macias in the chest. I feel like Macias needs a fucking brace or a coat or something to put on him, because his chest is gonna be fucking bleeding red. But Arraez comes through here to make it a 2-run game. And then another really good sign here from El Niño. I'm telling you, he has struggled. He's looked like crap, but he continues to get hits in big time scenarios with runners in scoring position. Again here, 3-2 count with 2 outs. Doesn't try and do too much and gets a good piece of it. And the ruling, it's gonna be a single and an RBI. You're gonna look from 3 months from now, and you're gonna see he had an X amount of RBIs and max amount of hits. You see him smiling. Really good to see. We need the swag back from El Niño. We need him to be playing at a good level. So that was the big 6th. We do add on here with Machado. Kind of woke up a little bit in the later parts of the game. Gets a really good piece of the ball, sends it to left field, down the line off Ferguson, and he's going to score Cronenworth, make it a 5-1 game. At this point, you're thinking, I think this is the one. I think we're going to get a dub. Verdugo gets a home run off of El Fuego Suarez. The fan is debatable. I'll let you guys see. I don't really like showing highlights of the other team, but just because of the play itself, let's take a look here. Takes a pitch and goes with it to left field, and Azócar almost has a play, and it looks like the fan kind of like fucks him up a little bit. I don't know. It's up for debate. My sister and family were saying no, it wasn't the fan's fault. But let's take a look at this here in slow-mo. Jumps up, tries to time it perfectly, and the fan kind of moves his hand out. What the fuck are you doing, bro? You know, I would kind of just get the fuck out of the way. If there's a play where my boy can make a play, and especially if it's the other team hitting, I'm getting the fuck out of the way. I'm jumping out of the seat. I am nowhere to be found. I'm taking a flight somewhere. Get the fuck away from me. So, I don't know. A little bit of blame there. It would have been a spectacular catch from Azócar. Obviously a really hard play to make, but he almost got it. And I'm going to choose to say fuck that fan, because he's putting his hands out. I see a little like touch of the glove. Any little touch that could be significant in a play like that. But that's what it does. He does allow that home run there. Does come into a little bit of a trouble, but ends up knocking down the door and getting us our first win of the series. I do want to show Jeremiah Estrada, though. He was the bright spot. I'm going to play this right here for you. This is from MLB on Twitter, obviously. Oh, God, the noise. I'm so sorry. This is going back to the Red Series. This is 10 consecutive strikeouts from Estrada. Just some really, really good shit. Placing that splitter. That splitter is fucking deadly. Strikes out Judge right there on 3 pitches, just challenging him. Look at the break on that ball. My God. And just challenging hitters, having the ganas and the balls and the huevos to go right after the hitters. Just some really, really good stuff from him. I need to see this man in big leverage situations. I love Enel and I love him to death, but having him come up and allowing a home run every fucking other game has kind of pissed me off a little bit. So I want to see him in more big-time situations. Hopefully he can keep doing what he's doing. His splitter is fucking deadly. Made the Yankees look like shit. Obviously made the Reds look like shit in that one game before. But 10 consecutive strikeouts is a Padres record, shattering Jake Peavy's 9 straight. Obviously, it was in 2 consecutive games as reliever, but impressive stuff from him. He's been exhilarating. He's been fantastic to watch and a major bright spot for our bullpen that has seemed to have some struggles every now and then with some like big time moments in the game. So hoping he can keep that 8th position, maybe 7th position. Hopefully Yuki can figure his shit out a little bit, get that Yuki, maybe Estrada and Suarez trio locked down to kind of end the game if we have a lead going into the 7th. But that's really going to do it for this video. Padres welcome the Marlins to town today Memorial Day. We play today at 3:40, probably like an hour right now from after making this video. Yesterday I ended up watching a Mexican soccer final, so I didn't get a chance to make the video right after. But I wanted to get this out to you guys and pinpoint some of the stuff that happened over this week against the Yankees, this weekend against the Yankees. Not a lot of good stuff, but some good bright spots. We're able to salvage the series against a really good team, so you're not getting swept against a really good team. I guess you got to try and find the positives. Other than that, there wasn't much. But like I said, we welcome the Marlins to town for 3 games here. We played today at 3:40. They have Trevor Rogers on the bump. We got Michael King going for us. Tomorrow we'll also be playing at 6:40. I think we'll have Waldron on the bump. Yeah, we have Waldron on the bump going against Luzardo. Luzardo has just coming back from an injury, but has shown some nasty shit in the past. He was also linked to trade rumors for the Padres for a little bit, if you remember that. And then we'll have the last game of the series on Wednesday, 1:10 game with Darvish back on the bump, hopefully trying to find his stuff a little bit better. But that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully we can take the series against the Marlins. The Marlins come in hot. They've won 4 straight series. Obviously, they've been one of the worst teams in baseball. But of late, of course, they come to town and they're playing hot baseball. So let's continue to stay positive. Hopefully we can get some fucking wins at home. Because, my God, it seems like they're allergic to any sort of batting or runs at home. But maybe this is the start of something. Maybe we can turn it around against the Fish here. Let's stay positive. Let's stay vibrant. If you're going to the games, wear some sunblock, have a good time, look beautiful, fill the stands. I know it's discouraging with the way we play at home, but we got to start somewhere, right? And maybe it's against the Fish. I will see all of you again on Thursday or maybe tomorrow or Wednesday if we have a crazy game. I hope to talk more Padres baseball with y'all. But if not, enjoy the day. Enjoy the week. I'll see you all soon. Peace.